Okay, here we go with another Pursuit of Cobra review. This time I'm doing Recondo. Before we get started looking at the actual figure, let's bring in the file card here, or packaging as it were. As you can see there's his packaging with the artwork. It says Recondo, Jungle Combat Specialist. And let's turn this over on the back. And you got the little character file card there, and the little scene there with the jungle assault figures and stuff there. And let's read off the little bio here on the back. It says here, Recondo, name is Daniel M. LeClaire. He's got his serial number. He's a grade E4 specialist. Mission equipment is MRJ or Mr. J jungle variant marksman rifle with telescopic sight. And it says, Recondo is the G.I. Joe team's expert in jungle combat and survival. He goes into the jungle ahead of the team to scout for Cobra forces. He uses a solar-powered wilderness survival pack with a Claw JS multi-snare trap to capture Cobra troopers and discover what they are hiding in the rainforest. So that's his little card there in the packaging. So let's get started here looking at the actual toy itself. And there he is there. Let's kind of zoom in here and look at the detail on him. First thing you'll notice here is he's nice and bald. He's got the Mr. Clean look going on there, as opposed to the old 80s toy that had the, I think, black or brown hair. He does have a mustache similar to the original 80s toy. But the detail on this guy's pretty nice. It's kind of typical of the Pursuit of Cobra line here. It's got the little G.I. Joe like star emblem there. It's got like a little communications walkie-talkie or radio. Looks like a cell phone almost though. And let's kind of go on down there. He's got some little pouches there on the front. He's got some little wraps around his arm. Some kind of cloth or bandaging there. And if you look at this arm here, it actually has like molded on here. It looks like some little darts or arrows of some kind of projectiles. I'm not sure what those are for. They don't really relate to any of his other weapons or accessories. Let's go on down. He's got some camouflage pants with some thigh pads. He's got some knee pads there. He's got his boots. And it does come with the typical G.I. Joe character stand with his name painted on there. And let's turn him around now and look at the back side of this guy. Look at the detail there. Not a whole lot here. He does look like he's got some kind of like plate armor here on the back. He's got the hole for the backpack. And there's just, you know, the back side of his arms. There's his camouflage pants. Nothing really special here on the back. So yeah, that's him there. And let's catch him here on the side and talk a little bit more about the figure here. One thing you'll notice here, and I think this is a pretty big drawback to this figure, is if we pan out here, he's looking like down at the ground. I don't know why that is. He's kind of hunched forward there. He's kind of looking down at the ground like he's lost his car keys or dropped his wallet or something there in the jungle. You know, or you know, his shoes are untied. I don't know what it is. I think it looks very stupid that they did this. His head is on a ball joint, but you can't move it back any further and make his head actually look up and forward. So yeah, it's a major drawback to this guy. I mean, why would you need to have him looking down at the ground? You know, it just looks very dumb. I mean, you can kind of tilt him back, but then he's like leaning back, looking like he's about to tip over there. So yeah, why they did that, I don't know. I don't know who made that call to mold the figure that way, but whoever did, they should really, you know, second guess that, or really, you know, think about not doing that. Maybe this is a mistake with this figure. Maybe they're going to release a updated version that's corrected that. I don't know, but I don't like it at all. Let's talk more here about his accessories, and I'll just kind of bring those all in here, and we'll get started with those here. He has a good amount of accessories, not a whole lot, but he doesn't really need a lot. You wouldn't want to carry a lot if you're going into the jungle. But there's his accessories there. And first of all, he's got his sniper rifle here, which I believe is modeled after a Barrett 50 caliber sniper rifle. I like this gun in the fact that they added these little like details here with like this like cloth or kind of like camouflage here around the barrel and the butt of the gun there. I think it breaks it up better as opposed to just being black like you would typically get with the G.I. Joe weapons. And I think the scale on this is a little off because a Barrett in real life I think is a little bit larger relative to a person. So relative to him here, it's not that big as it would be if it was realistically scaled. But yeah, so that's a nice little weapon there. And his other weapon here is a, I don't know, it looks like a SCAR or something like that, assault rifle with a little like underbarrel grenade launcher. So that's kind of cool. And he's got these 2 axes. Now I'm not sure, you know, are these like war axes, battle axes? I get that he needs these maybe to chop down some larger branches and stuff, but I only think he would need one of these, and it would make more sense that he has a machete than an axe, I would think, in the jungle to hack through all the leaves and plants and stuff. With an axe, you're not really going to be able to hack through it as much. This is more for, you know, chopping things as opposed to hacking things, but yeah. But these do have little posts here on them, and you can store these on the side of his vest here. If we bring this guy up, there's some little holes here, and these will kind of peg in here like so, if I kind of put that in there. So yeah, you can kind of hang it off there, and you can have it flip them around so that the blade's facing front or facing in the back. I don't really like the way these attach though, because they kind of get in the way here, his arms, and also when you put the backpack on him. I think what they should have done is add some holes here and just peg them here off the side of the backpack. I think that would make more sense, you know, and keep them out of the way there. Speaking of his backpack, here's his backpack. Now this is another thing I'm not big on. I think this is another drawback to the figure in a sense. First of all, the ideal behind this being solar powered, I think, is not very practical at all. Why this needs to be solar powered, I don't know. It's a backpack, and there's nothing on here that really looks like any kind of communications equipment or a weapon system of any kind. But you can, you know, it's got these big blue panels here, which are obviously the solar panels, and you can rotate those like so if you don't like them sticking up all that much. I think they look kind of dumb sticking up like that, and see they kind of fall off easy here on mine. I think you'd want something that's a little more inconspicuous and kind of blends in more with the jungle as opposed to these kind of blue solar panels here. Just quickly, you can just peg that into his back like so. Let's get that in there. And now the hole's not lining up. There we go. But yeah, see, so I think it looks silly there with that. I mean, why you need that to be solar powered, I don't know. The other thing is, I'm not sure a solar powered system would work well in the jungle because you got all the tree canopies and treetops there kind of blocking out the sun typically. So I don't even know that this would work realistically in a jungle. It does have this little like hoist or whatever it is here, or post, and this is like on a little string. It's supposed to be like a rope or something, or cord, and this goes out and it's spring loaded, so when you push this red button here, this will just kind of snap back in. And what that's supposed to do is it's supposed to connect to one of these little bear traps or foot traps that when you step on, they clamp on their feet. It does have a post there to, you know, put a character's foot on it, and it has a little hole here, post with a hole in it, and it can mount on the side of the backpack. So see, they bothered to mount this on the side of the backpack, but they didn't allow you to store any of the axes, which I think kind of misses the mark there. And then you can, they have the little post here, so you can attach this there like so. Now in the packaging, they don't give you any instructions that tell you that that's supposed to attach there, so you just gotta kind of figure it out on your own, which is another drawback. I think they're not giving you any instructions with any of these accessories anymore, it seems like. But this just goes here, and you can hit this and it'll come flying up into there. But I find that if you do that without anything in here, this thing will smack into it and make it fly apart. Let's see, it'll probably do it, watch. Yep, there it went. It just went flying across the room. So it hit the side and kind of broke it apart. But you can snap it back together. I think this is kind of a stupid idea in the sense that you're going to attach this here, and you're going to be wearing this backpack, and you're only that far away from the trap, so if someone's walking by, they're going to see you. I don't know why you would need to be attached to this. I think it would make more sense in this modern era that you could have had like a little radio indicator or something on here that would send a signal to maybe his little communications device, letting him know that his traps went off and he can go check it then, as opposed to being tethered to the trap. So yeah, I don't like that, or I just don't like the concept behind that, and I don't care for these panels. I think they just look kind of silly. His other accessory here is his hat, which just kind of sits on his head here. Because his head is bald and smooth, it doesn't really sit on there very securely. I think they would have had some hair, it would have had something more to grip onto, but it sits on there okay, but it's kind of easy to knock it off. It's kind of loose. So yeah, I wish maybe they would have had something to actually secure it on there a lot better than what it is, but it just kind of rests on there. So yeah, I'm not too crazy about that, but I do think he looks better with the hat as opposed to just rocking the bald dome there. And then his other accessory that he's got here is very ridiculous and silly, I think. It's this little like tribal mask, or kind of like witch doctor's mask. I don't know, just because he's in the jungle, does he need this? It doesn't serve any purpose. I can't figure it out why he would need that. But it does snap over his face there, and this actually stays on more secure than the hat, but you can kind of put him there with his hat on. Oops. But let's see there. Let's put that back on there like that. So yeah, now he's got the hat with the mask. Why would you need that in the jungle? I have no idea. Especially when you're walking around with the modern day solar powered backpack. Yeah, so this I think's stupid. So I would say, you know, the bad things about this guy is just, you know, some of these concepts that they got here with, you know, a solar powered backpack really for no reason. Witch doctor's type of mask. He's in the jungle, but yeah, he doesn't have a machete. He's got axes instead. I think his weapons are nice, and the traps I can see living with these. I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. He's setting some traps, but the ideal of tethering it to his backpack doesn't make a lot of sense to me. And it's not that great of a gimmick either. I think if this was more like a grappling hook or something that maybe he could throw up, you know, like up into the tree canopies where he can hide up there and snipe or something, that would make more sense, because then he's, you know, he's retracting himself up to the treetops or something like that, or rappelling down with it. That would make more sense than, you know, tethering it to a bear trap on the ground, and it's, you know, only a little bit away from him, a few feet away from him. One other thing is you can remove his little vest here. It just simply unhooks here and here, and you can just pull this up and out like so, and there he is there. So he's kind of plain without that. Quickly, let's look at the articulation on this guy here. Basically, it's typical of the Pursuit of Cobra figures. You can rotate his head, move his shoulders 360, pivot him up and down. You can rotate at the elbows 360, bend at the elbows. You can rotate at the wrist 360. You can move the chest like so. The legs are like ball jointed here, and the knees are double jointed, and the feet and ankles can rotate and pivot up and down. So my final thoughts on this guy, it's not a bad figure. I just think some of the accessories are a little silly and not very well executed. I don't like some of the ideals behind them. I think if they're going to go with a realistic kind of look to these guys, they should kind of keep it in the realm of being realistic or practical. It's a great figure in the sense that if you like Recondo, probably go out and buy it. It's not the greatest figure though. So yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's an average figure, nothing really to write home about, and definitely this hunched over look definitely kind of kills this figure. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't be so bad. But anyways, that's my look here at the G.I. Joe Pursuit of Cobra Recondo figure.